أهلاً وسهلاً. Bonjour. My name is Diane Dodin-Claveau. I'm from France originally, and I'm the corporate director of global business development for Nobu Hospitality. At the first place, I was working in Morocco. I was a journalist, and I was doing some studies in ethnology. And my father was living in Jeddah, and after he lived in Riyadh. So I came to visit him at the beginning. I think it was like 1999, so just before 2000. So it was a long time ago. And then I stayed for a couple of years, 18 years total, but 15 years residence here. First, actually, when you land, and I will always remember this, it's the smell. There is a smell. Every time you go in a country, I don't know if you know, but there is a smell in the country. The smell of when you come to the airport, this maybe perfume or oud, misk, I think you got it like this. All those things, I don't know. And then I was intrigued because obviously, it's not the same outfit. And the fact that I thought everything is easy. I was intrigued, I wanted to know more. I wanted to interact with locals. You live in compound at that time, and I have to say, when you're coming from Europe, living in a compound is quite nice. So all those, like, sometimes what was perceived as negative, maybe things for me was turned into positives. So I think for me, you're asking me to do activity, go to the desert, camping, going in the city, seeing all those self-made, I would say, spirit, that you can do, you can be. I think that was what attracted me a long time ago. Now, on those trips, I just came for business trips, and also because I lived here, so I came to see my friends. For me, it was an evidence when I came to Saudi. It's true that I think I always had this desire to travel and to know new cultures. I don't think it's random that I choose ethnology, history, sociology. I was always very, very much into knowing new society. And then as soon as I stepped in, the whole, for me, which was like a lot of folklore, mystery, even the 5-time praying, the muezzin, the outfits, like, for me it was feeric. I don't know how to explain, but the food, the deserts, all this for me just it was an evidence. I was extremely attracted by the culture, and I wanted to work here. I wanted to settle here, and then I think I was at that time, and I was like, I think I can grow as a self-made in Saudi. But before, it was like America. You could really be what you want to be if you're working hard. You could really follow your passion, and also you could develop your skills, which I think for me at that time, and I still believe it's the same because I'm in Europe right now. I think Europe is a little bit more. It's a little bit more difficult, maybe to have this, like, you can be who you want to be, and to have this ecosystem which just push you hard or push you to be better. It was the case before, definitely. I think now it's a little bit better in Europe, but that's what amazed me in Saudi. It works like, if I could say, the Anglo-Saxon system, where if you work hard, you can be whoever you want. If you don't have a open mindset, I think it's hard. If you really want to You might have routine of yourself, but if you want to live the way you want to live, it might not work for you. You have to have a flexible mindset. We had quite a structured expatriates community. Also, I was much more on the Saudi side for, I think, the first 6, 7, 8 years. Then I had both. I started to be more in the expatriate, which is funny because it's the opposite of what usual people do. They come with their company, or they are the wife of, or they were a nurse, or they were a teacher, or they were working for a consulting a company, but much more from Dubai or Bahrain. For me, no, I was working here, working for Saudi company, Saudi owners. So it's funny because I was much more, I live with Saudi family for 3 years, 3 different Saudi family, like I was always there. But it's true that it was not like open and public like now, and I think it's great now. You can have like entertainment, cinemas, organized tour in the desert or in the edge of the world. Like before, you know, we were going to the edge of the world. We were between ourselves. We prepare a picnic. We all go. We camp there, and then we come back. We didn't see that much people, to be honest. Now it's great. You can basically book a tour. You have all those like mega projects, which I think are quite promising. Being from the Red Sea, Neum, I have quite a lot of friends that are still here and working for those projects. And I think it's nice to be part of a locomotive that is taking the future into their hands. You know, like it's a chance. It's an opportunity, I think. I think first I will start by all those desert trips. I mean, you have such a virgin desert when you get a little bit out. For me, it was. I think it has been, you know, every weekend. It's memories at that stage. And then, you know, where you were going to Tabuk or the volcano, or you're going to the south, or you're going to the Hejaz, or you're going to Halula before, where they were no one. It was not Halula like it is now. All those diving trips on the east coast or on the west coast. I went to Farasan Islands. I think I went quite everywhere. You know, Ofuf, borders with different countries. I mean, that was great. And yeah, so many. Like, I guess one of the most memorable was also, you know, trips where you have like this inscription, like graffiti rocks, or when you had stories because you meet Bedouins and they tell you the story. Farasan is really a trip because you have to take a boat and go. Yeah, like it's hard to choose, but yeah, no, all I think they, you know, because they're so different region, that it's like a patchwork, you know. It's fabulous, and again, so virgin at that time that the sea and the diving was fabulous. Same for the desert, you know, like, so all the things, yeah. There is quite a constant in the desert. I spent my weekend and the founding day in the desert with some friends. And we went to a tree called the Tree of Scorpions, where I went before, and it's true, this has not changed, and it's great. I think what have changed It still needs some effort, but there is less garbage when you. I think now the locals themselves understand that you cannot really leave your things. It's still there, but I think it's a little bit better for what I've seen. And yeah, no, it's true. Like those dunes, it's such a virgin desert, and I was publishing my trip, this camping weekend in my Instagram, and I have friends now that I reach in Portugal. They're like, but where is that desert? And I was like, surely it's Saudi Arabia. And they're like, oh no, we know Oman, we know Dubai, but we don't know actually Saudi. And I was like, yes, because actually it's one of the best. Oh yeah, I have great souvenir of all those like traditional places and these heritage places in Riyadh. We were going to Diriyah, which is not the same, but now I saw that there is Al Buferi, I think that's the name. So I went there actually on my last trip, and it's very different. Like we had, I went to the Masmak Fort, we went to the souk, and I love like. All my friends are actually laughing because every time I come here, I go to Taiba, which is my favorite souk, because it's like Alibaba. You find everything, you can fix anything. So I have this addiction, and it's actually make really, really love my friends. But for me, culture, is something that I love, and when it's not even yours, it's fascinating. So I'm trying every trip to add also things that I didn't see, especially that it changed. So, but I think Diriyah and walking in Diriyah, and there was this restaurant, for sure it still exists, where you eat on the floor, and it's so traditional. I really loved all those things. Janadri was folkloric. It was such an event. I never missed it. And you had all those dance, and the music were there. You had the different region and the typical, dance and different type of music. So I think that was the event. And it's funny, yeah, because going from Janadri to Middle East, it's great. I think it's great for the country. I think it's also super great because all those celebrities that come, they might had, certain ideas. Then they come here for kind of business, and then they walk away and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I didn't know. So they're great ambassador. So I think that's great for that. In my time, I was lucky enough to work with a friend as well, and a prince that developed an entertainment company in Saudi, and he was at the beginning of all those comedy shows. That was great as well. But now I see from the comedy show that we were doing to now with all those like big events, it's quite like it's quite 180 degrees, as I said. It's a big change. It's a great evolution. I've heard that the art scene is quite developed, but at the last part of my stay around I think 2015, I was working myself in art. I opened Naila Art Gallery, and I was working with the owner, and at that time I had a lot of artist friends. Actually, collect Saudi art, not because I had any investment purpose, but because it's part of my life, and I had a lot of friends that are artists. So it's funny because in Portugal, if you enter my home, it's all Saudi art, from Talal Al Zaid to other artists. So it's funny. But and everyone is asking me, oh wow, like it's different and everything. But I guess it became much more structured with festival. You had I left in September 2018. You had some. It was starting, but not as it is now with like festival and shows and recognized art fair. That's really great. I think it's it's a normal way to go. I was telling them to not believe what they hear, and to not to go see it by themselves. And I have to say that at the beginning, when I was coming back, I thought, like, what's the point of explaining? Because sometimes it was always about, oh my God, well, you're out now, you've been 18 years, covered, were you wearing that thing? It's basically only this. So I was quite pissed. And then I was like, I actually have to educate them, because if I do not say it, then who will? So I was always taking the time and saying, actually I was quite happy and I stayed by choice. And no, I was not wearing this. Yes, I was wearing that. But this is great. Yes, this is more challenging, but if you look at it in another way, it's actually quite positive and easy. So, and then when I was saying about all those activities I could do, I always tell them, actually, when they ask me, but it's like you had like 2,000 lives and you did everything. It's true, I touch a lot of sport, a lot of music, a lot of instrument. And I was like, actually, it's because, the life was quite based in Saudi, and I tried a lot of things. So they're like, oh, it's in Saudi that you did this? And then see, they change their view. And then they understand that there is more than what you see or what you hear, So yeah, I think it still needs education. Now, you have a lot of PR worldwide, so I think it's quite changing. And the government is doing a good job to reach those people. So yeah, it needs less help, but still, it's always good to talk about what you lived, quite honestly. So then, people have less barrier maybe in their mind. I don't know.
This is House of Hype. We do digital experiment.
And we can work on it? Or?
Yes, you can work on it.
Let's try.
Yes, it's working on projection.
Oh, wow.
So this is the next zone. It's District X, that's we call District X. We have several experiments here, from new design games to avatar lab games. We have also drip fits, NFTs.
Oh wow!
Yes.
It was very nice to be with you all day, and we did quite a lot of things actually, and that experience of immersive art in House of Hype was quite a thing. I'm very grateful that you show me this, and those boulevard with all those lights. And it's funny because I saw a little bit of Paris, so I traveled from different city in Europe. So that was quite nice. But yeah, it was thanks to you, thanks to your cameraman, all the crew. It has been a lovely day. Thank you so much. bienvenue en Arabie Saoudite. J'espère que vous allez passer un bon séjour, j'en suis sûre même. Moi, j'ai vécu 18 ans en Arabie Saoudite et c'est un pays qui est très très riche de sa culture, de ses activités et dans toutes les petites choses du quotidien, dans les souks. Donc, je vous souhaite un très bon séjour.